All right, I'm super excited because I'm about ready to take the first time ever peek into someone's refrigerator. And this person, well, he could have picked any expert to do the job, but it's gonna be me. I'm taking a look into Joey Fatone's refrigerator, his lifestyle, and we're gonna talk deep about all of his struggles. And you're gonna learn a lot from this because his struggles might be yours. Bye, bye, bye. You knew I was gonna say that.
Never heard that before in my life. Never.
I have to ask right out of the gate, how often do people start saying things in your songs? Like, how many people say, God, I can only imagine you're so over it, aren't you?
Just see the expression. No, but it's always funny because it's like they're trying to be witty and come up with something because they're nervous about saying something or anything.
Yeah,
and then they
I'm
come
sure.
up and they go, bye, bye, bye. You know? Okay.
with the stupid laugh in there too.
Oh, they do.
I just have to throw out half my script now, just so you know. Half my script.
Why? You're going to be like looking in the kitchen going, oh, that's fattening this, I promise you. Is that what you're going to do?
Well, I'm so glad to be talking with you today because, first of all, I already feel an instant connection because you're like a paisan, as am I.
Well, you know,
but
it happens. It happens.
It happens. So I'm thinking about you and I'm thinking about like your whole career, your history. And there you were, like, I mean, a mega star. You're dancing, singing on major stages, global tours. That takes a lot, right? So you have to like really express yourself. The physicality of that, I can't even imagine because I've been on stages for hours, but the physicality of the constant expression.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to be able, I don't know if I ever get back on stage like that. I mean, I've definitely performed many times, but like that on stage now, yeah, it definitely would be difficult. 100%. It's very demanding. You know, you're dancing. We were dancing for like 2.5 hours straight, nonstop movement. You're constantly running around and trying, and you got to.
How much did you love that? Was that like a part of your life that you look back and is it like the best part of your life that you can?
You know what? I look back and I think that was almost like my college years. You know what I mean? It's like, because I never went to college and that time was with 4 of my frat buddies basically and touring the world. I mean, it was one of the most interesting, surreal things. And not a lot of people can say they did the things that we did. And it's interesting when you do meet people that way and you talk to them and they actually can relate. They understand. They know. Just like, for instance, if I say to somebody, you'll never understand because you don't have kids. And it's not a disrespect thing, but it's more or less of, you don't really understand unless you're in it. Unless you actually are doing it and in it, you're never going to understand it. So it's the same thing as, like I said, that's the only way I can refer us to is sometimes the same thing with my kids. People are like, oh, come on out, let's go party. We're going to go out. Back in the day, referring to that. And it was when I was on tour, or I was our stadium tour. I think it was the Pop Odyssey tour. That's when I had my kid. I had Brianna.
Oh, wow.
When I went home after tour, people were like, let's go out and party. I'm like 23, 24 years old going, no, I can't. I have my kid, or, hey, to my ex-wife, I'm going to go out and you watch the kid the whole time. That doesn't go over very well.
Not for a guy like you. That's not. So what was it like the first time you heard your song play publicly? What was that like?
What reminds me of is being in Germany. We were driving from one country or state to some, I don't even know what the heck we were driving to, but we heard basically blah, 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 in German, and then NSYNC came on. We're like, oh my God, this is great.
Oh, in German.
I think some of us were in separate cars. I think some of the guys, like 1 or 2, I don't know if Chris was in the car with me, and Lance, and then Jay, I can't remember who was in whose car, but we were like waving to each other and freaking out over that. I miss being around and touring and stuff like that. That's actually one of the greatest times of my life that I had was doing something, touring with, like I said, 4 of my best friends. It was fun.
And I'm telling you, if you ever decided to do that again, the world would welcome you with open arms. I'd be in the front row dancing.
People always ask, are we ever going to get back together? I say never. But the conversations never really happened. We did at one point with maybe the 4 of us doing something since Justin's been doing his own thing. He has a new album and all that stuff. I think even coming out, I think within this year or next year, I'm not really sure. So everybody kind of has their own separate things. So to really kind of say, hey, what do we want to do? How are we going to do it? That's the difficult part. And I don't understand why it's that difficult, but it is.
I'm so curious. When you have worldwide fame like that, it literally happened overnight, right? So you hear this song.
Like it,
Did you ever think about your weight or any of that? Does that completely escape you?
Because my last name is Fatone. I was always nicknamed Fat One, but I was never fat. I was never a big dude. I am a big dude in height, but and if you look at the other guys, I definitely am bigger. And I was always called the heavier one out of the group. And think about this, back then.
Oh, maybe bigger guy, maybe not heavier guy.
Yes,
like it's size.
But I was just always a bigger dude compared to little skinny minis over there. Compared to freaking, Lance, who's a rail, and so Justin, who's a rail, So it was always that thing. So I never really, and that's the thing, we danced so much that I remember that right when we started rehearsals again. So say for instance, we were doing something or whatever, the minute we start doing rehearsals, I would drop 10 to 15 pounds instantly. Just because of the cardio. The cardio, you're just constantly, we're rehearsing all day. Same thing when I did Dance with the Stars. But it was interesting because I haven't seen my waist size like that until when I was in high school. And I think Dance with the Stars, I can't remember when I did it, but I went from a 36 waist to like a 32.
That's huge. That's big.
I haven't seen that in years.
Well, every size is like 10 pounds. So now you say that this is not the best time for you in terms of how you feel, your weight, all of that. So tell me where your world, it's crappy. You talk like me. Good. I can say that. Crappy. You feel crappy.
Yeah, it's shitty. You can say shit. I don't know if you can say that here, but I'm freaking shitty.
Yeah. Okay. So why? Tell me why do you feel?
I think mentally, I just kind of not gave a shit. Let's be real. Let's be real. And for me, I'm constantly going. So when you're on the go, my routine is completely blown all over the place. 1 minute, I may get up at 6 a.m. During the week to take my kid to school, which I do. I get up every other week. So I get up at 6 a.m. I get her ready for school. Lately now, I haven't even thinking about breakfast, which usually I know that's the biggest one that you should not biggest, but one of the main meals you should eat.
Time out on that.
Wrong.
Time out on that. I love that you just said that, because you just gave me an into one of the biggest things I noticed when I examined everything. We're going to talk about that. So here, let me just encapsulate everything you're saying.
Over it.
You're saying that your lifestyle has changed. You stopped caring as much because your focus is different. Am I right? Yes.
Focus is everywhere else but me.
Your focus is everywhere else but me. So that's what we have to talk about. Because what I want to do is I want to encirculate you back into focusing on you. It's time now. You've been doing a great job with your kid, right? Your daughter's, and she's good. You need to focus on you so you can be even better with her. So that this is nothing new. You know this. So we're going to talk about how we can do this. We're going to talk about how we can do this. So I'm going to start out by saying, you emailed me some questions. One of the things that you said was, you know what, Dr. Kellyann, I'm concerned about the fact that I feel like my metabolism is not there. Mm-hmm. So I want to boost my metabolism. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And I also want to talk about what are you doing? And you might throw a tomato at me, but it's okay. What are you doing? What are you doing so you have joy in your life? Because what I want you to do is want to feel what you felt when you were back on stage. You were dancing, you were performing, you were feeling good. I want you to tap back into that pathway, because that's the key here, Joey. I want you to tap back into when you felt light on your feet, you felt good, light of the heart, all those things. How do we tap back into that?
I think it's just, for me, tapping back into it is getting on some sort of routine, which I don't have. That's what we're talking about. When I get up in the morning, the routine changes drastically from time to time. So when I, again, and you try thinking about eating healthy choices, I go from, and mentally, you do it, but you want to do stuff that's quick and easy, and that's where it goes left field. But one day I'm home in the morning, for a week, and then the next weekend I'm flying somewhere. I'm at a Comic-Con. I'm signing autographs all day. You get lunch in for 2 seconds. You grab something, you go. So that's the problem of me. And I know, and it's funny because I know what I have to do. It's just I make the poor choices and have to really get into the gear of making the right choices. Because again, we've I've talked to so many freaking people. We've all talked to many people as far as nutrition and diets and what does this, what does that. You know what I'm saying? And in my mind, I'm Italian. Of course, we eat. Mentally, we go, finish your damn plate. But I think lately, as time has gone on, I've gotten older. And it's funny because back in the day, you sit there with your family. It's like you make this major meal for everyone, and there's so many leftovers. Now it's like we go to Thanksgiving. It's like we eat some. We're like, why is there so much food? I can't even do this anymore. Yep. So you just keep narrowing it down. But again, you like what you like, and then those things, the choices become not so healthy.
Not so healthy. So this is a matter of getting into routine for you. So we have to kind of shunt whatever you're doing. We have to figure out ways to make
Which is nothing.
All right. Momentum builds momentum. So we have to get you out of the gate. That's all we have to do. I think I have a way that I can figure this out for you. Okay. And you're going to notice a decrease in bloating, because see, underneath your eyes, we got to get that. That tells me things.
That tells you I just woke up a little while ago.
Yeah, because you get up about 10 o'clock, right?
Today I did.
Okay.
Usually I get up at 6, depending when I have my, that's the whole thing. It's never a routine daily. But it's funny because in my life, I think if I do the routine all the time, that will get stale. So I have to change it, but keep it entertaining, I guess.
You want excitement.
And I think that's the same thing with food. You know what I mean?
Yes, I have the same affliction. You want constant stimulation. You want to feel excited in your life. Of course.
Yeah. Give me, I need a purpose sometimes. And I think to lose weight or to be healthy it's been on the back burner, not a purpose.
Yeah,
we got it. You know what I mean?
Yep. And that's what we got to do. We got to make it a purpose, and it has to be like a fundamental purpose. You have to anchor that back in you the way it used to be so natural in you. That's the whole. That's the whole. Like if you pull up the hood in all this, that's all it is. It's getting you out of the gate, because momentum breeds momentum. So here's what I want you to start with, Joey. I think this is going to help you a lot.
Okay.
So what I read from the intake is that you emailed me. I got some information. Is that you wake up at 10 a lot? So is that so? Okay. So let's
when I'm not working and I'm home, usually it's around 9 or 10. I've been dealing with that.
So let's use that to our advantage. So intermittent fasting is the best thing for you to get you on the right track. It's so easy. Okay. You don't even have to think about it. So if you stop eating at about 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night, and you don't eat until about 11, right there alone, that's a powerful fat. It's powerful fat burning right there.
Okay.
That's really, really powerful. And, this whole thing about boosting metabolism, like that's the age old question in nutrition. What weighs more, muscle or fat? That's what people, are always asking. They actually do weigh the same thing. But the difference is muscle actually will continue to burn fat throughout the day. So we have to somehow do the intermittent fasting and start transposing any fat tissue you have into muscle. So we start burning that all the time. Tell me what you do for exercise.
Lately?
Nothing.
Okay. Lately, no. Oh, well, I lie. Sundays now, twice now, and I'm trying to do it every Sunday. I would ride bikes. And we do 10 miles, 5 miles to this one point, have like a light lunch, and then go back 5 miles. So I just started doing that 2 weekends ago. So I did it last Sunday. And I'm going to probably do it this Sunday. So anything to start it, and that's my thing, is trying to kick back the motivation of getting some sort of cardio, getting moving, getting out there to do something every day. And again, just like calendars, some things don't happen like you want it to be, or you go, man, I'm exhausted from flying in. Do I really want to get? And again, it's that mentality of getting that motivation. And I haven't had that. And I don't know why. I think this is maybe more, I feel more comfortable, but I know that it's not comfortable. You know what I'm saying? I know I need to be healthier than I am. It may not be like, oh, he doesn't look big. He's not like this and that, but a lot of stuff I got high blood pressure, that kind of stuff. And the minute I drop the weight, blood pressure goes down, everything goes down.
That's
so
the
it's
tell
it's a
right
matter
there.
of getting back into it.
Yep. So I always tell patients all the time, it's what you do every day that matters. It's the one-offs. I go out and I have a very full life in terms of food and whatever, I eat and I have fun. I have what I want to have. And it's because of three things. And I'm going to just tell you the three factors that are really important markers. So then you're not going to have the blood pressure issues. So there's three things you have to pay attention to. I don't know if you've heard of this. Do you understand when I say gut health is really important? Do you know what I mean by that? Okay. So this is what I want you to start thinking about. Okay. Gut health, any inflammation in the body, we call it heat in the body, and your blood sugar. Those are the three factors I want you to pay attention to. Those are the three buckets that are the most important buckets. So everything I tell you about is going to be about gut health. Gut health is premier. because when your gut's healthier, you lose weight much more naturally. You don't have puffiness. You are more energized. And a lot of the hormones that you have that make you feel happy and that make you motivated, they actually are manufactured in the gut. So there's things called serotonin, dopamine. These are all the things that make you feel good. If they're not being manufactured properly, you're not going to feel good. It's going to be really hard for you to feel good. So what happens? What do you turn to make yourself feel good? You want a dopamine hit. So a lot of times when you're reaching for food, Joey, you want dopamine. That's what you want.
Gotcha.
So if you start exercising, let me just tell you some natural ways to get dopamine. If you're out in the sun, you get some sun. That's a really good way. A little bit of sun. Exercise is a really good way to get dopamine. But I'm telling you, as I'm listening to you, I'm feeling like that is what that's a big missing factor in what's going on with you. So we have to figure out ways to do that naturally. So I want you to pay attention to gut health, and we're going to talk about that. You don't even have to worry about the science or anything else. Just kind of hear what I'm saying about that. And because next we're going to talk about your refrigerator. We're going to talk about, baby. We're going to talk about what's in there. And then everything that I'm going to recommend is going to naturally talk about gut health, naturally talk about how you lower that flame and how you get your blood sugar back in order. So those are the 3 buckets. And I don't want you to be mad at me because I feel like you're my friend now. And I don't want you to be mad, but I got to tell you. I got to tell you what I call your refrigerator. Can I tell you what I call it?
Crap?
No. It's kind of a refrigerator.
It is.
It's a refrigerator. And so what I want to do is I want to kind of normalize that, because one of the overhanging things that I look at when I'm looking at this, he has no healthy fats in his diet.
I know, and that's the thing. Again, it goes in waves. When I have my kid, a lot of times I will go out to the store and I will buy the healthier things. But when I'm not home, the things that stay on the shelf, the things that don't expire, they just sit there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So some of those things in that refrigerator were probably never touched. No BS. And there's certain things, of course, that we use constantly. I think it's the cardio that I need to do. Because then reverting back to when I did Dancing with the Stars, I mean, not to be like, ooh, I was, eating really healthy. I wasn't. I ate whatever I ate because I was working so hard. I was burning it faster than the calories were even going in.
Nice.
But I don't have that right now. So it's how do I modify that to do that, or maybe kind of get back into that where, again, who's going to rehearse? Because I was rehearsing 4 or 5 hours a day doing cardio. No one's doing that. I'm not doing that. I don't have that in that time of a day to do 4 or 5 hours a day. No excuse to not say, hey, I'm going to do it in the morning and maybe right before I go to bed. Do it at night.
Well, here's what you can do that is a lifesaver. And so one of the things that I think that's an old paradigm for you is that you think that for cardio to get benefits, you have to do a lot of it, when that's not what the science shows.
No. Right.
So you know that, all you have to do, walking will do it, but then you have to do that over a longer period of time. But it's very effective, very effective. But if you do cardio and you push yourself and you do it over a time, you push yourself for 6 minutes and then you slow down, then you go up a little higher. Did you know what kind of working
intervals?
Out? It's type of interval. You realize 20 minutes, there was a Body for Life program that was out that was when we were kids. We're the same age. So when we were kids, we had this program.
You're 22?
I'm 25.
Okay.
Okay, I'm a little older. I'm 25. Hey, I'm going to keep you around. I love that comment. So what you have to do now is repurpose, get your own purpose back. It is time to find your own purpose. I don't mean to, get really crazy with you about this, but I feel really strongly. So it's what you do every day. I want you to find this resurgence of importance on you and your purpose. And your purpose I want you to start thinking less of the bullshit and more of what's real. And what's real here is that you have a blood pressure issue. You do. Okay. Yeah. Do you want to deal with something that's one step beyond that? Because what happens is it doesn't get better.
Yeah. Okay. No, and the sad part about it is I see that in my father. My dad's got a little diabetes. He's, not arthritis. He's not walking as much. So I look at that and go, I don't want that. I want to make sure that I'm a little more healthier and be able to see my kids do things and be able to go out with them as I'm, 70 years old or 75 years old. That's the one thing that's probably always in my head. I think that's the only, regardless of everything else, health benefits and, you'll live longer. I just want to be healthy. I just need to, I got to find the fine line to figure out what's going to be consistent enough to where I get to a routine to where it goes, okay, this works. And
God, I love that as your purpose.
It's
I
a
love
hard,
that.
it's a hard, yeah, for me, I'm just a hard,
but you're telling me
mentally,
words.
it's difficult. I don't know why it is.
Okay. Well, I don't believe you. I'll tell you why I don't believe you. You understand you achieved with like, I don't even know the percentage. Nobody achieves. Okay. Like maybe the number is so small. You can't tell me you can't do this when you are on global tour. You had #1 chart. Like, who does this? Yeah. How many people? Okay. So you're telling me that you can't do what I'm asking you to do, or that it's hard. You're mentally very strong. Why can't
times, yes.
First thing that you have to do is get you in, like, remember, everything's about relevancy in our business and in life. So I'm asking you to stay relevant within your health and wellness.
Gotcha.
So delaying your eating as much as you can, and then clustering your food over a period of time. So eating everything within an 8-hour period. Seriously, if you can eat, you'll be surprised when you get in the hang of this, how much you can actually eat within that 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
It boosts your metabolism, and it's great for the aging process. It's amazing. It's great for your skin. It's great for debloating. Mm-hmm. I can't say enough about it. You are a natural performer. So that's really important, that type of exercise that you choose. Remember the interval training. You can do 20 minutes 3 times a week, but that with the intermittent fasting is going to be a game changer. Mm-hmm. So that's your starting point. I noticed that you like chips and dips. So let's just say that. And I love them too. But so I have a rule, it's a 1-for-1 rule. So every time that you take a chip and you dip it in some dip, I want you have to do a fiber. So you've got to do a fiber. Fiber is your friend, because that's going to help you. It's going to help you more than you can imagine, because it slows down the way the blood sugar enters into your body, and it pushes things through you so you don't have bloat. And by the way, in addition to this, I want you to drink a lot of lemon water. Do you know that there's a lot of grain-free chips out there that are delicious? You know that? Yep. Mm-hmm. So I love those because I talked about gut health. They're actually really much, much better for your gut. Okay. So popcorn, you love popcorn, right?
I do more popcorn than I probably would do chips, to be honest with you. Yeah.
So on your popcorn, there's things that you can do that help with that inflammation or that flame in your body, that help with gut health, that help regulate your blood sugar, all those things that we care about. So adding things like turmeric, adding things like cinnamon on there, anything like that, cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is great for thermogenesis or boosting your metabolism. Add a little, some kind of health benefit when you're thinking about it. And if you put butter on it, make sure you put the grass-fed butter if you do.
Right.
You know that, right? Well, you know why? It's like a huge difference. There's conjugated linoleic acid, CLAs in the grass-fed butter. They burn fat. Okay, now cereal. If you have cereal, here's what I want you to do. Add vanilla protein to the bowl. Do that with my boys. I have 2 boys. I used to do that. I used to mix it in their bowl, and it tasted better. They liked it. So it was good. So that's a good. If you have any mac and cheese, I want you to put some nutritional yeast on that, because that's a lot of B vitamins. You know, we're talking about cheese. I got to tell you my philosophy on cheese. My philosophy on cheese is that, because we're talking about gut health, and I got to circle back to what's really going to keep the weight off of you and any puffiness or bloating. Manchego cheese, or one of those cheeses that have really small molecules. Your body is so much better with those type of cheeses.
Gotcha.
You're missing fat. So one of the overriding things that I've seen, like I said, that I noticed from everything is, you're going to kill me because you were just talking about this, but I made a list of tearing up your heart, healthy fats. Are you going to knock me off my chair? I know.
No, I'm cheering.
I had to do one. I had to just do one.
You can, and you're allowed to. I said,
so, coconut oil, avocado oil, grass-fed butter, nuts and seeds. And so most people don't know about avocado oil. It's awesome. It's really good. It's great for your skin. And then another question you asked me is, you said, how much protein should I have? How much protein? And I want you to start thinking more about your protein, getting protein with meals. Try to eat the protein first. And instead of thinking about like 115 grams, I want you to think about like the palm of your hand. Remember that old axiom? Like,
well, I was just, yep.
You got to think about that. I actually live by that. I do that. So just think, okay, I'm eating a meal. I got to build my plate. I got to mentally build this plate. So it's like the palm of my hand. Start thinking about that. And
sweet. I got like Wreck-It Ralph hands, so it's perfect.
I knew you were going to make a comment. I knew you were going to make a palm. Wreck-It Ralph. All right. I remember Wreck-It Ralph. I can make a lot of comments. I'm going to keep my mouth shut and be
No judgment here. No judgment here.
So you have a chance now where you got the first body tell, and you can step back and think, step back and say, okay, so I'm telling you right now what to do. I hope you listen to me. I'm giving you the prescription of what to do, and lightning fingers over there. I want you to make sure he does it.
Let me see the phone like that.
Because he's pretty spectacular, this guy. All right.
She's right.
Bam.
No grain-free type chips, GMO-free popcorn, adding, not
right.
subtracting on your popcorn, add turmeric, cinnamon, cayenne. I mean, she's literally writing everything you're saying.
Is there anything else, my friend? I'm not going to take any more of your precious time. Is there anything else you want to ask me?
No, I mean, you made it pretty damn clear.
Yeah, I got to
get it out of the gate, do what I have to do, and stop making that mental break. Stop making what you were saying to. It's where I'm stuck in almost like a limbo that I need to get out of. I think that's what it is for me. What is the excuse? There is no excuse. Part of my French, it's me being lazy. That's exactly what it really for me boils down to. And it's a matter of getting into that. You
got this, my friend. And please know that you have me in your back pocket. And I'm serious. I'm like your nutrition.
You're in my mouth as well.
What do you got? I can't see. Oh my God. Who was she?
Kelly.
Tell me everything. Tell me everything. I got to know. Who was she?
That's for you. No, I did it just for you.
Oh my God. How did you do that?
My ex-wife, her name is Kellyann. So her middle name is Ann. So
no way. Yeah. Oh, okay. So
that was my bachelor party is what I got. And it stayed there forever. So
oh my God, that's all right.
So you're gonna always be in my head, and you're in my lip.
I gotta tell you, I'm honored. Oh my God. Well, you're a lot of fun, and you are a great, big, joyful energy.
Thank you for taking.
You're welcome. Okay, that was so fun, taking a deep dive into Joey Fatone's refrigerator, because he was so willing to, number one, be open and honest, really transparent about everything. And number two, he really wanted the help. He really wanted to do what he could do to make changes that fit into where he was. So the first thing we did with Joey was intermittent fasting. That's the first tool that we put in his toolbox, because intermittent fasting is a great way for him to lay his eating and eat what we call on a go time, which means about 8 hours a day is when Joey is going to start eating his food. He's going to find that it'll really boost his metabolism and get things burning and going for him. Second thing, we're going to have him do interval training. We're going to have him do this cardio style, because Joey likes cardio. So how can we get the most benefit out of doing cardio with a short time? So interval training. And number three, we're going to take some of those anchor foods that he has, and before we transition him out of those foods into other foods, we're just going to have him add some superfoods into those foods to get him on the path to his transformation. Good job, Joey. I'm proud of you.